Morning, everyone. It is so good to be here. I am so happy to be invited to speak to you this morning. Like C.T.O introduced me, my name is Thembakazi Moya, working for the CBE. Who knows the CBE here? At least we've got hands, don't we? First of all, let me again thank you, the program director, C.T.O, and also thank you for getting this invite today to come and speak to you. I did hope that I would get more of the senior students, so my speech was more that way. But I'm happy to speak to you because when I speak to you, I can speak from the heart because you're still at that development stage. So we can talk to each other, right? I also brought my other young people here that are also developing. I see I have a scientist as well. Like I said, my name is Thembakazi. I'm the Chief Transformation Officer for the CBE. CBE stands for Council for the Built Environment. So what that is, I'll break it down for you. Built environment, what built environment is what this building, the building of this hall, it would be under what we call built environment. The environment that Sislengiwe just talked about, that is under built environment. So when you go outside and you see the road that is constructed, that is built environment. What other examples do we have? The schools that you go to, that is built environment. The houses that are here, that is built environment. The bridges that you see that were built, that is built environment. I could go on the whole day. So when you see anything like the roads outside, just think of Thembakazi, that is built environment. And we would hope that one day you will be building those roads for us. We will be calling you engineers. Who wants to be an engineer here? Who wants to be a construction, to own a construction company? Right? So these lights that you see here, the lights from ESCOM and the electricity that is brought, you the one who develops that for us. So we know one day when you grow up, we will not have load shedding because you will solve all those problems because you will be the future scientists, right? So we're talking to you today because we're talking to our future. Because just from seeing who's here today, we know when we are relaxing at our old age homes, you'll be the ones that are looking after us. So that is why we have to wake up today and come talk to you, because we're talking to the people that will be looking after us, building our infrastructure for us, making sure it's working well. So I'm happy to be here today. I had prepared a speech, but I wanted to make it more exciting that I see that the average of the people that are here today are nice and young. So I don't want to bore you too much with the way I had prepared the speech because I came here prepared to speak to the grade 12s, but it's not a problem, we will be back. So I actually just looked at Bukamuso Barina. You'll correct me. The reason I'm mainly speaking English is because Xhosa, and I have a feeling you won't understand isiXhosa Sam. Who understands Xhosa here? You see, even my people don't understand me. So I just translated it because I like doing that to say, it just drew me. Bukamuso Barina means our tomorrow. Am I correct? Right. So that is why I'm saying speaking to you today excites me so much because then I'm speaking to my tomorrow. I'm speaking to my future. When we're building these roads, we're building the roads for you, not for us. We need to make sure that you looked after, you will be using infrastructure that works for your future. When you get to universities, you want to make sure you can get there and do what you need to do, and you pass. So let me just get an idea who's grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, grade 6, grade 7, grade 8, grade 9, grade 10, grade 11, and grade 12. Thank you. We've got a representative here. So the reason I wanted to ask, especially for the grade 8 to grade 11, as we've gotten, who's doing maths and science? So you maths and science. No, it's not a problem, because I always say all the professions and all the whatever we decide to do, everything is good enough. Nothing is better than the other. We all contribute the same. We all have our role. So never allow anyone to tell you, because I do this, I'm better than you. All is important is that you've done what you needed to do, you contribute your part into the world. So you'll find that someone says, I'm doing maths and science, you're doing literacy. Your literacy is contributing to your future, because that's what you're preparing for. So everyone has their role in this world, and that is good enough. I may be an engineer, but I need an accountant to look after my finances. So we do all that is good enough, we're contributing to this world. And then I saw as well, there was something I liked in the documents that I got that says, be the change that you want to see in the environment. And that applies in the world as well. So I'm sure you watch news with your parents, you see what the problems are, but I want you to have an attitude of saying, I can do something about that, and I will get it right when I become a professional. You even have to ask questions as much as you can, because that's your tool to understand what's happening in the world. So when they say, I'm sure your parents, ESCOM load shedding, ask them, so what happened? What do you think is the problem? Because you'll help solve that problem in the future. It's like the environment that we're talking about today. Sis Lengwe spoke about recycling. It's not just about recycling, it's just a way of looking after your environment, because that is what talks to how you live your life. Because when it's clean around you, also your heart and your well-being, that's how you show up into the world. When you see papers lying around, you mustn't say, I'm not the one who threw it up there. You must do something about it. That is the nature and the society that we're looking for. So today I said I will talk about education as a critical vehicle for transmission of value systems. What do I mean about that? So we learn in different forms, whether you learn at school or you learn here today, when you learn with this organization, with C.T.O and Dr. Bauer, where you learn in terms of how to be, you wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you get ready, you invited here today, you told yourself, I'm gonna go and attend this event. That is a form of education, because that's what builds into your value system. One day you're gonna hear about us, like Sislenge was saying, they register professionals, and we're talking about ethics. That is the values you're being taught right now. When you're told, today come here because you're going to be taught about the environment, the importance of recycling, the importance of saving water, because we are building into the future. That is your transmission. This is what is gonna one day inform how you contribute into the world, how to respect other people, how to respect the environment around you, how to respect your friends here and your peers from school. So I made an example. When I was growing up a long time ago, we had what we call Intsomi. Intsomi would be what they call tales. So our grandparents would, we would do it nighttime, and it's like an equivalent of bedtime stories for you guys. So they would tell us about the story of a wolf that wanted to break into someone's house, and they swallowed the hot ox, and their voice was smaller, so they couldn't shout anymore. And we were kids, so we believed it. It was a good story. But then there was always a value system that was being taught about that. How you must not take from other people, what happens when you do bad things, that there are always consequences. And that is why we're here today, and we grow up, we become good citizens, we contribute better into the world. It was supposed to be a fiction, a form of entertainment, but we also had to take lessons from it. And also it is what we build as a culture. You probably have activities as the community here in Mamelodi, because you're building a culture for yourselves. You have a culture, your culture during when it's not school holidays, you wake up in the morning, you go to school, you come back, some of you do some chores, some of you do their homework. When it's weekend, your parents are home, your family from Limpopo comes to visit. When it's holidays, you go visit your family from the other areas. That is your culture. I'll give you a definition what is a culture. Culture and education are two inseparable parameters. They are interdependent. They form a pattern that will be a guidance for the society. So when you form a certain culture and you know this is our way of doing things, we plant trees so that we've got a green environment, we recycle, we save water, you pass by, you see, no man, this tap is not closed, you close it, you don't say it was not me who left it open. That is a culture. That is a value system for yourself, because then as you grow older, you realize more things. I'm sure you hear about corruption, but you can't get the concept of what that is. But then when you grow up and you see any form of corruption, you'll be able to say, no, I don't steal. I don't take other people's things. I don't disrespect, because you were taught certain values when you were growing up. And that is what we call a powerful and influential method to solve problems, because you come together as a community and you solve problems together. When you see a problem, you go to Botshepo and you say, hey, Botshepo, I saw that there's water that is running. Is there anything that we can do as the young people here? And he'll tell you how you can come together. Oh, Botshepo, I saw they have not been collecting waste there. I see the paper running around. What can we do? He'll say, on Saturday, we're going to come together. We're going to collect waste together. And that's how you form a community and you grow together, young people. I'm sure now you're like, Uthini Thembakazi, what is she saying to us? So I just want you to learn to be very responsible. I have a 9-year-old there who always says, but it wasn't me. I said, I didn't ask you whether it was you who did that. It's about what you do about a problem that you find. You can't always say, I'm not the one who did that. As you will see as you grow older. I'm going to skip all the other things, babies, because I don't want to frustrate you. We'll come back for the older kids. So all I want to say to you today, education is very important. It's a foundation for you. It's what's going to take you to the next level of your life. And also you mustn't forget that education is not just you sitting behind the desk and learning what teacher tells you at school. It's what your parents teach you at home. It's what the Botshepo and Dr. Bauer teach you here about today, about the environment, about how to do things when you come and do whatever you do here at the community hall. You will face some challenges. I'm sure sometimes you're like, I don't know how to learn maths, but you need to learn to have a resolve to say, I don't give up. I always ask for help and say, hey, this is difficult. I don't know how to do this maths. And teacher gets frustrated with me. And then you say to the grade 9 learner, because you're in grade 5, can you help me because I don't understand how to do this English homework? Always ask for help. Always ask questions. Always tell yourself you do not give up. Love yourself, because that is the main value. We know when you love yourself, you will come across people that will always try to say negative things. You say, you know what? I don't understand what you're saying, because me, I know I'm good enough. I love myself. My parents love me. Never let anyone put you down. Believe in yourself. Know that no one is better than you. You're good enough. So let's talk about the environment today. We need to understand that we all have an impact into the ecosystem. So whatever you do, for example, we learned when I used to stay in Cape Town, we had what we called day zero. We were not going to have water by a certain time. We were all scared. How do you live in a city without water? Because everything has to do with water. And then we all had to save water. They had what they called, if it's yellow, let it mellow. So we had to know that you can't flush. All of a sudden we knew something we never realized before, that when you flush, you use 9 liters of water, right? So all of a sudden we were learning these things at a difficult time. But then what you do, the impact you have as one person, it's big on the environment. So when you leave water running, you are impacting things, so you need to learn how to save on things. When you hear a teacher telling you at school that how to say, go and ask questions, we're learning these things about school. How does it really affect? How do I, as a person, then make a change? In terms of pollution, when you see someone dropping papers or throwing paper outside, I know sometimes it's an older person that you knew, you're going to be afraid to say, hi, please pick that paper up. But learn to come together and say, even an older person, we have a problem here in the community. I know at school I learned that you can't throw papers anywhere. What can we do about it? Because I can't confront an older person to say, pick that paper up. That is the contribution we then make. So I'm going to conclude, young people. I'm not going to take too much of your time. Please use this organization and community to ask these questions, to say there was people speaking to us about engineering, environmental assessments. You can become an architect. You can become a landscape architect. You can become an electrical engineer. You will be the one who's putting up all these electrical lights and electrical infrastructure, right? You can become a surveyor and you survey all these roads and the bridges. So there's a lot of things you can do out there. You can become an accountant. You can become a teacher who teaches us to stand here today and talk about environment and engineering, because teachers are very important. That's why you must listen to teacher and give them respect. Because I'm here today because teacher taught me how to read, how to do maths, right? So for those that are now, because luckily some are still below grade 4, but I see the majority is from grade 4 and above. So you are at a stage now where you can make choices about your future, but it's also okay that you will change your mind until grade 10, where you have to at least know which direction you're going to, so that you can start looking at universities and wherever you want to go. So I want to say, don't give up. Look after the environment. When you plant trees today, know that tomorrow and a month later, you're gonna come back and see it grow. And then you water it, and then it's gonna rain and the tree grows bigger. And that's your contribution into the environment and to the world. You can be anything you want to be. All you have to do is never give up and keep trying. Thank you very much.